This is Middle East Brief with Avi Kaner, your daily intelligence update on what actually matters.
Today's episode is about a phrase that sounds passive, but is actually quite the opposite. And that phrase is ceasefire. This is a strategy, an indefinite ceasefire backed by pressure. Because sometimes what looks passive is actually powerful. That idea gained weight yesterday when President Donald Trump posted publicly about extending the ceasefire while maintaining the blockade, signaling that Washington may view time itself as a strategic weapon. No large-scale invasion, no endless ground war, and no American lives lost in a new Middle East conflict. And yet, the Iranian regime keeps bleeding. That is the key point. The Iranian system today, led by Ahmed Vaidi, is under pressure economically, militarily, and politically, both inside and outside Iran. Figures presented as negotiators actually have no power at all. For example, Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf may serve as a public negotiating face, but the regime's coercive power and real leverage sit with the security apparatus, especially the IRGC. So, what does the U.S. strategy look like? It is a hybrid model. Continue blockading Iranian ports, deny the Iranian regime export revenue, disrupt cash flow, and force difficult internal choices. At the same time, avoid unnecessary escalation. Use precise strikes only when required. And when pressure builds, regimes like this often try to create leverage through disruption. That is what happened in today's news. Iranian forces attacked commercial shipping and seized 2 container ships, the MSC Francesca and Epaminondas, in violation of the ceasefire agreement. A third vessel, the Euphoria, was attacked and left stranded near Iran's coast. It is a familiar tactic: create tension, raise costs, force attention, pretend that escalation is strength. But it is actually quite the opposite. A regime losing ground everywhere else searches for pressure points. That combination could be more powerful than dramatic headlines. Why? Because regimes like this do not survive on speeches. They survive on money, on patronage, on paying loyalists, on funding internal repression, on sustaining networks like the Basij and the wider security apparatus. When cash shrinks, the choices shrink. And when choices shrink, the cracks widen. That is exactly why economic pressure and selective force work together. One weakens capacity, the other raises the cost of aggression. And all of it can happen without a conventional war. I said earlier my estimate was 45 days until the Iranian regime collapsed. Maybe that timeline changes. Maybe it accelerates. Maybe it takes a little longer. But the principle remains. A regime under sustained pressure, losing revenue, provoking the world, and relying ever more on force is not stable. It is vulnerable. So do not misunderstand the phrase ceasefire. Sometimes a ceasefire is not the end of pressure. It is the most efficient form of pressure. No bullets fired unnecessarily, no American lives lost, and the regime is still bleeding.
This is Middle East Brief with Avi Kaner. If you want clarity, not noise, follow and share. Continue the conversation on X at Avi Kaner. Back tomorrow